What's up? We got a bomb guest tonight. Let's go. And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Purple Pod. We got a special discussion tonight with Paradise Paris in the house. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So glad that we're in the same city.
I know,
Makes it
right?
Very special.
There's not a lot of people in Dallas that are like speaking on these kind of things, right?
Yeah, that's not a lot of content creators in Dallas, but shout out to Keita Rose. She out here.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to get her on again. Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to the number one show in the world for dating. Started right here in Dallas, Texas. Please make sure to like the video on y'all's way in and subscribe. Please go follow our Clips channel, our Purple Pod Clips. Follow on the podcast Instagram too. We're now live to Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube all right now at the same time. Go sign up for my new coaching linked below. Also, if you're a guy that needs personal help. Our new Patreon is also made if you want to see some girls that kick themselves out of my show because they couldn't handle the heat, or hit the join button under the video if you want to become a YouTube member. Also, new shirts are out on the merch store, so check them out. We're now streaming on all the audio platforms as well, guys. Please make sure to add the Instagram right now if you want to go and add our beautiful Paradise Paris right here, right now on the show. Shout out to my producer. We just got Donnie in the house, and thank you, Cornerstone, for everything that y'all do in the background. I appreciate y'all. But yeah, we can go ahead and start. Why don't you go ahead and plug yourself in and let them know where they can find you on all the different platforms. I know you're on a lot of different stuff, right?
Yes, I am on almost every platform you can think of. I am currently on Instagram as Paradise Paris, Facebook as Paradise Paris, TikTok, and my YouTube handle is _Paradise Paris, and on Twitter it is going to be _Paradise Paris 1. You can follow me on every platform, and on Big O, I am Paradise Paris. I will be streaming live there really soon. So if you want to see me and you want to see what I have to say, tune in there, and I promise you, you will not miss a beat.
Awesome. Well, to start off, because this is like a discussion, with you about, the dating marketplace and stuff. But first, I kind of just want to learn more about you. I want to know, like how long have you been living here in the Dallas area? Were you raised here? How old are you? What do you do for work? If you want to say, stuff like that. Just learn more about you a little bit.
Okay, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. I am not from Dallas. I'm not a Dallas native, but I have a lot of family.
And talk a
here.
little closer if you can.
I'm not from Dallas. I'm not a Dallas native, but I do have a lot of family here. And shout out to them on my dad and my mom's side. And both of my best friends are here. My favorite cousin is here.
Damn, you moved to the best spot you could have gone to.
Right. And shout out to my HBCU, University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, the flagship of the Delta, the illustrious one, dear mother. I have a lot of people, my peers from college here. And so Dallas was the greatest staple. I am from Arkansas, from the Delta. I am a real Southern Belle, a real country girl. And shout out to the 870 and the 501. I am 28. My birthday is coming up in April 14th. I am an Aries. I know people ask me that question all the time because they're like, where does girl get all this energy, baby? I'm a fire sign. So
that's where it comes
for
from.
sure. Yeah. And that's just a little bit about me. Not too much, but I am in my regular life, aside from social media, I am in corporate America. I am a licensed insurance adjuster.
Hey, that's a good job to have.
I know it. Shit. I know it. Shout out to Black women who breaking all them barriers, making over 50K. Because that's me. I'm in that top percentile. I definitely make more. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up though. But so also, I gotta know, because you make this type of content. Everybody's always curious, like, what kind of background did you have with your family and stuff? Like how many brothers, sisters do you have? So that typical type of question, like, well, how was your parents? Were you raised in a 2-parent household, single-parent household? How many brothers and sisters did you have?
I was raised in a 2-parent household. My parents are still married.
That's
they just
why
celebrated
she has these opinions, guys.
Their anniversary. Honestly, my parents have been together for like 34 years.
It's amazing.
And I'm the oldest. There are no outside children. There has been, as we know, no word of infidelity or anything like that. And I have identical twin brothers. And I contribute a lot of being well-rounded and grounded to my circle, my support system, my village. It wasn't just my parents, but my parents do play a heavy part in me being so poised and so grounded. And rest in peace to my aunt. She was very much so a lady, my Aunt Mary. And my aunties on my mom's side Like that, those were the staple for me. Those were the women.
Mhm.
My aunt Louise, my aunt Gail, my aunt Aura, my aunt Carlene, my aunt Genevieve, my aunt Diane, my aunt Jessie. I could never be the woman that I am without those women and watching them go so hard and be who they are.
Yeah, so tons of women influences is how you got it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it wasn't just a fucking like you said. It was a village. It wasn't just a
Yeah.
few.
But Miss Rose, the OG. That's my mama. Do you
Yeah.
hear me? Miss Rose, the OG. So yes. I always make the joke and I say my mom and my aunties, they gang members.
Yeah.
Don't play with them.
Wow. So I'm scared. Pop, pop,
Yeah,
pop.
for
So
sure.
bang
For
bang,
sure.
skeet skeet,
For
nigga.
sure.
So what? Did you have any brothers and sisters also?
I have two brothers.
Two brothers.
Yeah, honestly, if I can be candid, because I know people are always like the area of social media today is who are you? Where did you come from? What's
Yeah.
going on with you? I don't give too much of my background because people be in your business.
True, that is true. Yeah.
So who I am in my personal life or what I did in my background really isn't people's business.
Mhm.
Like, can you contest what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But to give more insight,
Yeah.
my dad, he did raise his nephew, who I consider to be my big brother, like my oldest cousin.
Mhm.
We're 9 years apart. He used to watch me all the time. And then my mom also helped raise one of her nephews who they were peers. They was the same age. They was in school together.
Mhm.
And he also like my big brother. And he calls my mom, and
So lots of good male
it,
influences in your life, though.
I didn't say good.
Well, I didn't.
had
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
not
of
good. Just male
male
influences.
influence, to a degree. I had a lot of male influence as well as female influence. But I can say, to kind of wrap up the family thing, because I'm very big on protecting my people. But on my mom's side of the family, it is more female dominated and
Mhm.
single
Mhm.
and single parenting.
Mhm.
On my dad's side of the family, it is more male orchestrated. And every single male in my dad's family, minus 3, are married. Every single male in my dad's family, even the ones out here in Fort Worth. So I come from the both of the sectors.
You see everything. You see both sides, kind of.
Everything. I've watched my cousins be single moms. I've watched my friends become teen moms. I've watched my family be in marriages and go into weddings, and shout out to my cousin Felicia and shout out to my cousin Juanita, who are married women, and they're the oldest ones, and they used to watch me. Like Felicia was in the room and my mom had me. She caught me. She saw the nurse catch me like a football. She called the time I was born. And then like it was always Juanita around who we would get sick, and she would be the person there while my aunties and my mom now was at work because she was substantially older. Like we like 13 years in between us. She used to watch us and she used to keep us and lock us out the room and be yelling, "Sit down somewhere." So I got to watch them at different times of life and take different influences from those women, and they've evolved and grown and they're on their own path with their families, and I get to see like where we came from and the work that they put in to get to where they are now in two-parent households with their children, making damn good money, being copacetic in their lives and very functional, and I love it, like, because they look like me, but they come from where I come from, and we don't think the same, we don't act the same, but we are each other. Like every time they go places, they're a representation of me, and I'm a representation of them, and I have a very fond respect for my older cousins. I really admire them, and we out here together now. So the bond is a lot different versus us as kids, because Felicia's like 17 years older than me, and so like it's a huge age gap. So seeing baby Paris, like, right, like she grown, she cursing now, like, woo, she doing the damn thing, and I love to see like how we can have those grown women conversations and evolve.
Yeah, no, that's dope. Did you come from religious background at all? Did you go to church or?
For sure, I'm from the country,
Okay.
like Arkansas Bible Belt.
Oh yeah,
for sure. So yeah, my dad's a deacon.
Okay,
my
so
mom's
yeah,
choir director, and she's the Eastern Star.
yeah. See,
So, yeah.
that's the biggest thing. I just
My
like.
aunt's an evangelist. Rest in peace to my cousin Gwen. She was an evangelist or ordained minister as well. So yeah, like that's not uncommon at all.
No, I just like I wanted to like set the stage for like everybody, like of the like basically like the type of person you are, everything about you,
Yeah.
or like where you kind of came from. But now let's like dig it a little deeper into like some other type of questions. I want to know now, like when we look at the dating marketplace today, how everything is. Would you say that well, let me be a little bit more specific. What do you think that men are doing wrong today? Like specifically men. Like what do you think they're doing wrong the most in dating?
They're treating every woman that they encountered the same. They don't know how to differentiate between a good woman and a hoe.
That is very true, yeah.
And it's because of the perception that they're getting, especially even with the approach.
Yeah.
Like, if you let a woman talk, or if she's interested in you, she gonna tell on herself. One thing that I notice about women when we approach a man is very provocative. We straight to the point. You fine as hell. I'm trying to, it is what it is. And women don't understand, like, you kind of knock yourself out the box when you come so hard. Like, you make them tense up. Like, not even on some predator prey, but like now you done made it to where like you're like, oh, for real? Like, if you wanted to ever get to know him, or if you wanted to ever take it further, ball's not in your court no more. Like, you don't have the leverage, right? Because of the approach. And that's a typical thing. Like, even some of my lesbian friends, they go, girl, women real aggressive, right? So for men, like, especially like my friend groups and things like that, or what I've just simply noticed from my own personal experiences, man will say some egregious shit. Like, there's no way you looked at my platform and thought you can approach me the way that you would with a IG model influencer. There's no way you thought that what you're saying to me, I would bite. And I think a lot of times that men think, hey, she's just full of shit. She's just talking. Like, nah, I really hold true to my principles and my values. And I don't know about other
They're
women.
just testing
Like, it's not even they're testing me. They really don't know no fucking better.
Yeah.
But it's social media.
Yeah.
Because the first thing that they'll go is, well, I seen that one post where you got your titties out, and it's like, okay, they look nice, don't they? Right. But what about those other 15 posts that you saw where my titties weren't even the point of contention, but you was listening to what I was saying and giving all them amens in the comments? So you should have known that that wasn't something I was going to be receptive to. Everything is hypersexual. I am a woman. I do admire my body. I love the way that I look. I'm very much so conceited. But also, too, if you want me to respect you, you got to set the precedent. Like, you respect me. And one of the things that I love about that Wale and Wale is an artist, and even Yo Gotti, like, Yo Gotti made a song, you got to get a respect that you earn, with Neo. That song will always hold true. You have to give the respect that you earn. And a lot of women, they don't understand that anymore. And that's why I have to pay so much homage to my support system, or my aunts and things like that. Because one thing about it, they always made me aware, you carry yourself like a lady. Carry yourself like a lady.
You got to be different from all the other women today.
No, I don't have to be different. I'm still a woman. My expectations are still the same.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of truth in lady in the streets freaking the sheets. I'm still a woman. That's where people, they try to want to separate me. I'm not trying to say I'm better than other women, or I don't act like them. No, I have expectations of men, right? The thing is, I just don't treat you like you're just an object. I don't attempt to objectify men simply because men have always objectified women. I think that's the wrong way to kind of, tailor it, because men don't want to be objectified, right? And so we're seeing a high level of objectification all across the board with every gender, and it's not healthy.
Yeah, no, I it's really crazy that, like, you kind of put it that way, because I haven't really seen it like that, I guess you could say. But yeah, it is on both sides, and we both do it. But it's just a different type of. It's because it's two different ways that we objectify each other, so it's really hard for us to notice it sometimes. I feel like the guys are objectifying, by looks, and the women are objectifying by their status or their money. So it's just it's very hard.
Or height, like being very insensitive, right? Because
do you think social media is the main reason why that's happening? What do you think it is?
I honestly think social media plays a contributor, but I really just think it's the option of choice now.
There's too many choices.
Yeah, and
so the dating apps also kind of
everything. It's a mass, right? commonly it wasn't a huge thing for people to internationally travel. It's never been. Like 10% of black people
That's something I talk about all the
have,
time too.
yeah,
Yeah.
like 10% or a little bit over black people actually have their passport,
Hmm.
right? So international travel was never something that we all considered as far as like dating. I'm only speaking for black people because
Yeah.
that's my experience. But as far as like other cultures and things like that, um when you look at how America's set up, or where your parents, raised you, or we came from baby boomers, so they had us in certain areas of the country. Some of them left and put their children in certain areas, and black came in different experiences. But wholeheartedly, like, now people are having doors open for them through education. So like you're seeing like black boy joy, little black boys at 7 8 years old be scholars, right? They're out of school and going to college way before they're actually developing or even in puberty. Same thing with black girls, they're making history now.
Hmm.
These children that we're having now, they're growing up in a different mecca because they have a lot of more opportunities afforded to them that allows them to see more experiences. Like now the scholarship funds and things like that. I forgot the name of the program, but in college, in high school, I was a scholar. So my parents have always like been used to the exposure and stuff that I get. That's
Hmm.
another thing people think, oh, she's a social media influencer, she's not used to getting attention. No, like I've always been on front of newspapers and all this other stuff. My parents are used to that. So I was having the experience of like, I would have people reach out to me for an ambassadorship or things like that. I'd have been afforded the opportunity to go to Tokyo. I'd have been afforded the opportunity to go to DC. I actually was at Obama's first inauguration off of my educational opportunities alone. So when you consider that factor, and for me, when you come from a small town and you get out of where you are, your environment, you get to see the world from a different perspective, and you
Hmm.
get to get influenced in a multitude of ways. It's not just your parents, your aunts, uncles, cousins, and the school system anymore. It's, hey, the world is pretty fucking big. And now we have the opportunity to just pick up our phone and go. So that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So yes, it is social media, but it's also like you have people who are in like travel groups. So
Sure.
it's giving us the opportunity to like date long distance now. That
It's the
shit wasn't
global. It's the
common.
globalized sexual
Yeah, it
marketplace.
wasn't
Yeah.
common. So now, whereas you thinking it's more efficiency, it's really not. Like
It's
it
a
gets worse
your
as
head.
you get
Yeah.
older. Dating gets terrible because now you have to deal with somebody who's either mentally immature or they set in their ways. How you gonna fight that battle?
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah, that's so true. But yeah, we literally got so fucked off just because of the globalization of
That's
everything.
it. Like
That's all it
everything
was.
now,
It's as
everything
simple
is
as that.
widespread. Yeah, technology, like everything's widespread.
Yeah.
I remember when we was like growing up, like if it stormed too hard, our cable would go out. But
Yeah.
cable wasn't even something that everybody had, right?
Yeah.
Like, but now it's shit. It's storm
It's just so
unless
easy.
like, all right. Let me
Doesn't mean
log
nothing.
in. Let me kill some time on the internet. Like, let me stream. I can't go outside and kick it. It ain't gonna be brunch tonight. I can't go pop bottles in the club. So let me stream. Like,
It makes
that's
me
really what
sad.
it is.
I'm so nostalgic. I miss the old times so much. It's insane.
Because it kept us grounded. It made us do stuff. Like now, people interaction is limited. Like even when you go outside now, it's not even authentic anymore. Everybody picking up their phone, posting like I'm having a good time, not even really having a good fucking time. And so, I used to tell my friends like when we was in college, because they used to be complaining about men and shit like that. We talk. We women, we talk. I used to tell them, if you go to a club and you pay nothing to get in, you gonna get some nothing ass niggas. But if you go to a place where you had to value what you was putting in and you had to invest, or you was going to a cultural center or something like that, or a live music show or poetry night, you're gonna get a different sector of men. So when I hear women complaining about like the type of men that they can't find, no, you just not in your vicinity. You need to open up and expand your horizon. And I feel the same thing about men.
Yep.
You need to open up and expand your horizon, because where are you going? You're going to the place that's being promoted on your algorithm, the hot spot, right? And then when you go to that place, somebody probably convinced you to go.
Hmm.
And then you went there thinking that you were probably going to get chose. And
Yeah.
it didn't happen. Or if it did happen, you ended up in a nuanced, sneaky link situationship potentially. 2-3 months down the line, it's going nowhere fast.
A waste of time completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest things I preach on here is like I'm really against dating apps, but I'm also really against finding people at the club or like finding people at bars. Like like one of the big things that we teach is networking events, you know, charity events, political events.
Right.
We have like a group of guys and like we take the girls that come on the show to those events because we're trying to show them that there's better things to find guys at than fucking
Right.
clubs. It's fucking crazy how bad it is right
Right.
now.
No, like I said, even brunch and stuff like that, right? Like, but aside from like just the club aspect or, like charity events, things like that, being community oriented, because you still got to be like, or self focused. You still got to like be committed to your star player, who is yourself. You got to be in your zone.
Mhm.
So I don't just look at like the brunch spots or the club or things like that. Like, it really ain't my vibe, if I'm being honest. A nice little cigar lounge, I encourage women put themselves in male dominated spaces.
Yeah, that's something I say all the time
Take your
too.
ass to
Yeah.
the gun range. What you afraid of? Like, you
I
never know
agree with
who's
that
gonna be
actually.
there. Like, it's nothing to get up instead of going spending all the time in Target. Who the man you probably gonna run into is gonna be a family guy. You can probably find a newly divorced man or a well-to-do man who just bought a house in Home Depot or Lowe's.
I never thought about a male dominated space. Thank you for that tip because like
Absolutely.
I have to coach these women every week in and
Yeah.
out and I have a hard time giving them more places to go, but that is a great tip for me to give them for now on.
Oh, it
Thank you.
it I got a friend out here now, and she know who she is, like very, very good friend of mine. And she was like, I had such a hard time dating, and she's from LA and things like that. She was like, I had such a hard time dating because of my skin tone and I was like, nope, not gonna have it. So on nights where it's like big events and stuff like that, we go to the sports bars. I'm Come on, we finna go to Twin Peaks. Come on, we finna go to Bombshells. We finna go, yeah, like go to male dominated places. Dress comfortable, look like yourself. You don't have to put on makeup and
Hmm.
all that other shit because men are gonna be in there being nice. Like, they're not uptight. They're not trying to be like super pushy. They're not trying to be creeps or anything like that. Like, nah, they kicking it. They ain't really too much focused on the women either, anyways, because there's already women in there who got their ass out or at Hooters or something like that. They didn't need to see all that. So
I'm
they
surprised you're
genuinely
saying
trying
this
to get to
stuff.
know you. Like, they're genuine. Like, if you sit down, have a conversation. It's been a couple nights I done went and I done inquired about things on the menu, like at Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is one of my favorite spots. I
Uh-huh.
ain't uppity. I
Uh-huh.
go places where I'm normal.
Yeah.
Texas Roadhouse, I like that type of
Oh
shit.
yeah. Them
Right,
rolls.
for
Oh my
sure.
god.
I'm just a regular normal girl. So I encourage women to like take yourself out of the shit that you think you should be doing, right? Because a lot of times what's happening is people to get to women get in before this time, or you're gonna have a contest where you win for best dress or something like that. Okay, well, you done put yourself in a market where it's nothing but competition.
Yep.
You done heightened it. You done
Yep.
heightened the stake, and then when you heighten the stake like that,
It's harder
you
to win. Yeah.
it's not that it's harder to win. What you've done is made yourself, you over leveraged
Okay. Yeah.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
I ain't saying it's hard to win because
Yeah.
you are who you are. If you stand out for a man and you attracted to him, I done been in positions to where I done seen a nigga rake up 3-4 phone numbers a night, and we done seen you talking to this. Like, women don't care about that.
Yeah.
Like, I want women to stop lying. You don't care about men talking to other women. We promote you.
Mhm.
If I get into a relationship right now, your pussy rate's gonna go up.
Mhm.
They're gonna be like, oh, she status temp? Absolutely. I vouch for him.
Yep.
Sierra and Russell Wilson. Now all of a sudden, all these women like Russell.
Yeah.
You weren't checking for him before Sierra.
Yeah.
So with that dynamic, I don't tell women you count yourself out. What I will say is, like, you've over leveraged your market,
Yeah.
because now what you potentially are looking for, he could be in that spot, but it's also other women who potentially have the same aesthetic as you. Like, they're not coming to actually get to know you now. It's completely dwindled for what he's looking for because of the environment.
Yep.
So take yourself out of a woman dominated environment, put yourself in a male dominated environment if you're looking for something, and based off of how you feel, you'll get what you're looking for.
It's so smart. And you know what's really fucking crazy and ironic about what you just said? I actually teach in my program for guys to go to those restaurants. And the reason why is because a lot of guys aren't socially calibrated anymore today, especially the
For
guys that
sure.
have to pay for courses, they just aren't calibrated with women. So it's like you need to
I
go
agree.
and be around beautiful women, learn to be friends with them, learn to not like talk to a girl without thinking about fucking dating her and like just be and learn to just be normal and just be
Right.
able to just be a normal guy with around a
Right.
pretty girl.
I'll tell you one thing that I've noticed that men have a very hard time doing. They don't know how to date without their wallet. Like anytime a
Yeah,
woman
they
bring
lead
up a
with their
date,
wallet,
well,
man.
no, not even lead with their wallet. That's one thing. They don't think about dating without money, and that's the problem. Like, are you a fun person? Like, you're expecting me to be fun. Well, what the hell is your fun? Because I have to want to be enticed by something, right? So even if you're like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with spending money on a woman that I don't know. Now it's your job to find something that doesn't require you to break the bank to entertain me.
Mm-hmm.
But also, men don't date for fucking fun. Like, they date for pussy.
Mm-hmm.
They date for an end goal.
Yep.
Take your end goal out of it, because a lot of what I'm seeing is some men actually wholeheartedly feel like men and women can't be platonic friends. Shout out to my male platonic friends. I love y'all.
I know, right?
So,
Thank you.
no sex involved, no nothing. But you better not try me,
Yeah.
because they'll put you on your back.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. But
She knows, guys.
absolutely. So when you're talking about like the dynamic between men and women, I want men to honestly find a way to learn how to entertain women past being in the house and without money. And once you start doing that, not only do you find hobbies that you enjoy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You find shit that potentially gets her out of her shell, out of her comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my friends that a guy I used to talk to a while back, one of the things that I was talking to him about just this past Sunday, he was out here coaching boys football as he does. You know, he's very community oriented. And
Shout out to Black Man Unfiltered.
absolutely, he very much so a father figure to a lot of black males, and his son just went out to play. We were talking about like dating, and I was like, you know, it would be easy for you to just simply invite a woman to your football game if you were to like be dating or coaching a kid, coaching a game. For one, you're getting her out the environment. You didn't pay for it. You the coach. You got a game. You're gonna get her in for free. They typically run like those little league football games 3-4 times back to back to back to back back.
Yeah.
You're not gonna coach all those games.
Yeah.
You're gonna get an opportunity to sit down with her. You guys are probably gonna have like a very nostalgic moment because it's kids around. It's the high school or little league, whatever.
True.
And you're gonna be able to actually like have her in a comfort zone around a lot of other people, and you guys will have so much to build off of in conversation. Unless she's just simply not interested.
Yeah.
So that's what men need to emphasize nowadays. If money is an issue for you, before you start leading with your wallet or discussing finances, you need to learn how to date women without ever mentioning money.
Yep. Because you're not going to get burned genuine desire also from a woman that you're
No.
chasing like crazy. That's the biggest thing I also teach is guys have to stand in their frame and the women have to walk into their frame because they really don't understand that this whole chasing, like simping epidemic has just fucked everything up. I want to know what are women doing wrong
Save
today?
the simps.
Yeah. What are women doing wrong in dating today? Since we just heard what you thought about men, what do you think women are doing?
Treating dating like they prostitutes.
That's so true though.
Yeah.
Go into detail on that. Like what do you mean like by prostituting? Like what do you mean they're using like prostitutes?
Because everything now in dating is transactional. And it's almost hard like for you to genuinely want to get to know a man for who he is. Like, you will honestly hear women like try to take a dig at a woman for saying, you're giving up pussy for free. Absolutely, because I like him as a person. That's not an insult to me. I was attracted to that man. I got to know that man. I was interested in who he was at his core, and I admired the way that he treated me. So naturally, I should be sexually attracted to him, and I shouldn't have a bill on it. So what's happening is a lot of times women are saying, you're going to have to pay me for my time. You're going to have to compensate me just in case. It's a backup plan. It's in the event this doesn't work out, right? It's definitely insurance. In the event that this doesn't work out and he either fucks me over, he gets another girl, he goes on and moves on without me, or I don't like the sex, I got paid for it. So now you're making this a transactional thing. It's a job now. So what you should start doing is name your price and cut in between the middleman and let him know, hey, this is what it's going to cost to fuck me, and get him out the way.
Go ahead and just be honest about your prostitution.
It goes, absolutely. It goes back to men don't know how to differentiate between the women and the whores. And there's nothing wrong with whoring. I support the hoes for sure.
Yeah.
I support the
Yeah, and the
hoes.
guys love the hoes, trust us.
I
They
support the
do.
hoes. But I do feel like we can't conflate lines because now it's blurred. And now I'm having to do much corrective action if I'm a woman who is dating, because now the first thing that men are talking about or you're defensive about is money. And that shouldn't be no trigger point for nobody. It take money to make anything work. Like, we live in America.
Mhm.
Everything costs. You go outside and breathe, it costs. You can't have no fucking broke down vehicle on the side of your house without having to pay a fine for it.
Mhm.
So in America, right, like currency is the thing. So you shouldn't ever think that women don't cost.
Yep.
Everybody costs. Name your price.
Yeah. No, that's what's crazy about men's days. They don't understand hypergamy and just like women like to date
Damn
up.
hypergamy.
You don't like
Everything
hypergamy?
costs.
Yeah.
No, like hypergamy is a real thing.
Yeah.
But just
Period. Everything fucking
like,
costs. Yeah.
stop thinking you're gonna get away from the financial part of it. Yes, there have been men who have fucked women for nothing.
Yeah.
And if you're not that guy, stay out his lane.
Yeah.
The same way there are women who have fucked men for little to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not that girl, stay out that lane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we get so caught up on preferences or the resources that other people can provide. But at the base of every relationship, it's never changed. Money, communication, sex. Those three things. It takes it to make it work. We always know that divorces have ended in two main factors: irreconcilable differences, which leads back to communication,
Mm-hmm.
and money.
Yeah. Financial every time.
Every time.
Yep.
Irreconcilable differences was just communication and money. Adultery somewhere along the lines. We don't even play in that sector. But those are the two things. It used to be a common thing like in the 90s and shit like that to hear like women saying, "Oh, sex is like a weapon. Like, you're using a cookie as a weapon. Oh, he didn't do something right. You're going into the doghouse." Or made it seem as if like sex was a job or a duty. "Oh, I'm too tired. I have a headache." Now women are hypersexual. Women are wanting to fuck their man. They are wanting to give up the pussy. Women will get in the bedroom before they get in the kitchen. You ask a woman, can she cook? She like, who you talking to? Why you want to know what I can do? Why you want to know if I can cook?
But she can fuck.
But she can fuck.
Yeah.
She gonna tell you she can suck that dick. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because now you have wavered your value, right? So when you're trying to tell a man like, I'm more than my body, what's happening is there's too many sex positive women who are still insecure. So they're not understanding, they're not listening to what men are saying. But on the adjacent end, men are not listening to what the hell women are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not a hard thing.
Yeah, nobody listens on
Everybody's
either side.
over talking each other. But everything that needs to be said is being said in conversation. It's right there.
Do you do you think a lot of these women, you know, like you're saying, like they're basically prostitutes? What about the women that are actually getting into relationships, you know, and stuff like that? Do you think it's still like the same kind of thing? Like a lot of women are being super transactional even once they get into the relationships, like they're staying that
No.
way. No, and like the girls that are in
No.
relationships, the reason why they are in them, it's because they're not being transactional. Maybe that's why.
No.
No.
In regards to like in actual relationships, and I said this in one of my videos, like 50-50, what you see in real structure is couples use whatever's happening in their lifestyle to make it work. Like, everybody's so dead set on like not going 50-50. It will be times where you have to do 100-0, and you have to be able to say, hey, me and my partner are doing whatever it takes in order to make our end goal meet. We may not be on the same page, but we got the same end goal. So even though me and whomever are not on the same page right now at this stage in life, this is temporary, right? So my happiness don't matter. I got to make this sacrifice because of the end goal. Whatever we're trying to get to, that's what matters the most. Stay disciplined, stay dedicated, stay focused. Remember the goal. Sometimes that takes for y'all to come back, y'all to recenter, even when you're not talking, even when you upset with each other. You don't ever want to feel like you're the only person pulling all the weight. And a lot of times people feel like that those hard times are supposed to be temporary. No, hard times look like, hey, shit, you lose jobs here and there, da da da. Like, you just down on your luck, something's happening. But what matters the most is if you can put two heads together instead of one. and come up with the best plan to make sure you still reach your end goal. So when I hear women say, I ain't doing 50-50 with no man, you mean to tell me if you paying for a $2,000 loft and a nigga fucking you, right? He ain't paying for nothing else. He may throw you a couple $100 here and there for your nails. Nails about $150 now. And he decides, hey, let's move in together. And that couple $150 every week or so, every 2 weeks or so, turn into a band. You not finna let him move in? I ain't never heard a bitch say she was gonna take half the money for rent. Nah, shawty, he just put you $1,000 up. Like, you can't be dumb. Today is a different dynamic. Yes, there are some men who can pay it. Realistically, it's not a commonality. And you have to know what game you're playing. You have to know what your position is. So no, I'm not gonna turn down a man saying, you know what, I really do want you as a partner. I really do want you to have decisions in the finances. Women look at that as a negative. Nah, I need to know what the fuck going on. Because main reason why men do leave out to cheat is because of finances. And one of the TikTok ladies I just saw, which I died laughing, like I was crying laughing. She's a stay-at-home wife. She's a white lady. And she decides that she's going to go on a rant, tell all her marital woes about her husband supposedly cheating out in Vegas on a business conference. Well, she forgot misery love company.
Yeah.
She forgot, like, hey, on the internet, they ring for justice. They want people canceled. They want to take action, right?
Yeah.
They're progressive. They're women's empowered. It's Women's Month. Shout out to all the women.
Yeah.
And so she had to basically get back and recant everything she said in this fiery rage and break down like, hey, y'all, pump your brakes. I understand you're mad for me, but my man is like the only worker. I have children. You're calling to get him fired. But see, she didn't understand. You left the gate open. You went and told your home front business and you made him win. And so he rebutted and was like, don't take that shit down. Leave it up. Because in the adverse, what's going to happen is if she attempts to file for divorce, now you done fucked yourself. If he get fired, you done fucked yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because you allow outside influences to justify this, but this is the way the internet thinks. You want to argue about everything, but the actuality of it is, majority of the time, women are benefiting off of men. You never hear about stabbing in no circles. You always hear Oprah name. That nigga don't come up.
Yeah.
If they want to affiliate Oprah with somebody, they mention Gail. They mention Gail. They don't talk about her man.
Yeah.
Right? But you know, you'll always hear Sierra with Russell Wilson. You'll always hear Shawnee O'Neal with Shaquille. And she the one that got remarried, right? You'll always hear Michelle and Obama. You'll always hear a woman benefiting off a man more than you'll hear a man benefiting off a woman. Even Bill Gates' ex-wife or Elon Musk, several baby mamas, or Nick Cannon, several baby mamas.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They can benefit off of men.
Every one of them.
You'll hear too many women millionaires like, don't nobody call ASAP name no more.
Yeah.
Rihanna the billionaire. But Sean is a staple without B. He gonna always rock out. You get what I'm saying? Like, Beyonce is Beyonce. That's like my favorite person in the fucking world in celebrity life. I'm a hella huge Beyonce fan. But you will always hear Jay-Z name. Like, he's coming up in every conversation every day about a rap battle or the rap legends. Like, it's not a thing.
He's a GOAT, yeah.
Sure.
He's always considered one of the best.
Absolutely.
But she's considered one of the best on the women's side.
She for sure is.
She is the best. Yeah.
She is. But what I'm saying is, like, in the event she leave her man, and even if she doesn't ever leave, I hope she never leaves Jay-Z. But when we saw Lemonade come out and we heard 444, you will hear conversations say, hey, Beyonce told y'all to leave y'all man and she over there weak in the knees behind him.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I use that as an example almost every show, honestly. Yeah.
Beyonce ain't leave her man.
Yeah.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, I'm going to be really sad if she ever does, because that example that I use all the time.
No, if Beyonce leave her man, you remember how they had that crazy ass fan that went to like Chris Brown's house and jumped the fence. So the people who like had invaded Kim Kardashian, oh, she gonna see me. I'm gonna figure out where she stay, girl. You better stay with that man,
or else I'm coming for you.
Yeah. I'm kidding. But I love the dynamic of their powerhouse, right? Like, they do their own individual thing. She has her own name. She has her own brand. But you gonna hear her say she Mrs. Motherfucking Carter.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But you ain't hearing a Stedman pop up in the media talking about Oprah did this, Oprah did that. Like, it's no such thing.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
she's a powerhouse. And ASAP Rocky, since being Rihanna, has been very quiet.
Did you see the pictures with him and like he just seems so emasculated every time they bring him
I
around.
disagree.
I just don't like how they did the picture like where like he was like in the back with the kid and then like she was all in the front. Like it just looked really bad.
But
It
it
just
was
made
about
him look
her.
emasculated. Yeah, it was. I like that she's like I think it is good to put the woman on a pedestal when she's pregnant because like it's a perfect thing.
Well, the whole feature was about her.
Oh,
I
I
didn't.
didn't know that. See, I saw a picture out of context and that's what happens. Yeah.
Right. So my thing is what that looked like, right? Her as a billionaire. And you got your man. Like, I think a lot of times we try to pride femininity and masculinity and what that looks like. And that don't look like all the time what we have idealized in our head,
Mm.
right? And I tweeted, black men and black women alike are responsible for the idea of masculinity perpetuated onto black men. They make it so hard for a man to just simply exist without having to feel like he's tough, he's strong, he a badass. Tupac in a motherfucker with a Harvard degree. He don't have to be all that to be considered comfortable who as who he is. Tay Diggs is one of the least masculine mans I ever think of. I don't think of Tay Diggs and go, this nigga gonna beat somebody ass. I don't ever think about him like that. But I don't also have any type of reason to like emasculate him. Or even when I look at fine ass Morris Chestnut, I don't look at him and think, oh, he a tough guy. I don't look at Morris Chestnut and think that, or Blair Underwood. I don't look at them and think they badasses. But I do look at Method Man like that. You get what I'm saying? It's a different perspective. But
what
that
about a guy crying?
masculinity looks different.
What about a guy crying? Are you okay with your man crying? And I'm not gonna say just because of I'm gonna say over something small. I'm not gonna say because of a parent dying or anything like that. Like it was kind of a small thing. It shouldn't have been that big a deal, and he cried over it. Like, what do you feel about that?
I I'm gonna be candid. I'm gonna be very candid when I say this, right? Because you have to understand my upbringing. I'm not a very affectionate girl or a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Never been.
Okay,
And I don't do too much crying. I ain't with all that bitch shit. That's just
that's
who
just
I
you.
am.
Yeah.
But I will say, I get the, I sympathize with the struggle, right? Because I see my brothers go through it. Like, as we got older, my brothers start calling me now way more. Like, as you get older, your sibling bond kind of, it strengthens. So listening to sometimes their frustrations, you know what? I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind hearing my man cry instead of going down his sorrows in a bottle and potentially driving drunk and getting into an accident and not coming home, or potentially getting into a fight and something else happens and it leads from there. I wouldn't mind having my man say, I had a long day today. A cry would make me feel better and just get his shit off. He don't need to be bothered. He don't want to talk. He just want to release, because we know that, and we're seeing it in mass, that there is a prejudice with the black man in therapy. That whole fucking segment is very much so not for them. Um, Women have a perpetuated idea of what they should and should not be talking about and what is acceptable, because sometimes we do take things, hold them against them, and throw it in their face. When we get mad, we use our words in order to cut them deep. But I would just say it's really contingent on what they look like. However, to be very, very honest, I'm not finna deal with no man who at every motherfucking minor inconvenience start crying.
Yeah.
Get your ass up and we gotta move.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that look like for you, but if every time something going wrong in life you gotta break down and cry,
It's a
no.
problem.
Because that doesn't just look like crying. Also, on the adjacent end, what that looks like in hyper masculinity or toxic masculinity, that looks like your elevated tone. Now you being mean to me. I haven't done anything to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden, anytime I'm asking you general conversational questions, now you're snapping at me. You have no patience with me. It wasn't me who made this issue. But a lot of times men don't get that. They have tunnel vision. You're having a terrible fucking day at work. All of a sudden now, this one person that pissed you off, and I'm just simply asking, hey, Do you know where this is? Or can I have some money? Or, et cetera, whatever I'm asking, and all of a sudden you snapping at me.
Mhm.
That's no different than the crying,
Yeah.
because now you're letting me know that anytime something is out of your control, in order for you to regain control, you have to minimize me.
Yeah.
I don't want that either. So watch your mouth,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Watch how you treat me. I'm still a woman,
Mhm.
and I didn't do it, but I can help make it better.
Yeah.
You just need to tell me how to support you.
No, no, that's good. I was just really curious because crying. That's like something that everybody like sometimes disagrees about in this space when it comes to like guys crying or not. If it's like I personally went to therapy for a year. I'm a guy that's like actually very emotional. I have BPD, so like I like actually know I'm very intact with my emotions.
Mhm.
So like but so a lot of people would disagree with me on a lot of things. I don't think that most guys should go to therapy. I think that we emote differently. Like it's good to go to the gym. It's good to go be physical. Like sometimes we just let out things like more physically than like how women love to talk
We
about their
love to
issues,
talk.
love to talk.
I talk a lot.
Yeah, so like I think sometimes some guys, but like I was one of those guys where I had to talk, and I found a therapist that was a guy that was awesome guy therapist, and he gave me awesome manly advice, so
Well,
it was fine.
I've done therapy. What I thought of it was something completely actually different than what it was. And honestly, I had a black woman therapist. I loved her. She was in Pine Bluff, and I learned how you have to be self-aware. I learned how you had to learn your boundaries. I learned that therapy doesn't always come with paying somebody to go sit on a couch and vent. You can do other things that are therapeutic.
Mhm.
So I always encourage that. I I get it, right? Like, is there that a form, and is that the primary form that we know about? Yes, and it used to be a stigma in my community that to not go, to not trust. And it's certainly graduated and branched out and become a very useful tool nowadays, especially for these adults hyped up ADHD and all these other crazy fucking things. But
Yeah,
I definitely think that it doesn't stop at going to sit on a couch.
a thousand
You
percent.
don't have to go sit on somebody's
Uh,
couch. And shout out to the therapist. I get it. But I will always stand behind black men and their choices. And if they say we don't feel comfortable, this ain't the route for us, I just want to go to the barbershop and I feel comfortable
talking with the
talking to
boys there.
my guys.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to do. Go get what you need or what you feel like is gonna make you better. And if that doesn't work, right? And we start picking up codependency issues, now we gotta address this.
Hmm.
Now I gotta come talk to you like you one of the guys. And sometimes that means me stepping out of my femininity. But a lot of men
True,
don't understand that. Like, I can give you that
but you're
because
gonna mess
sometimes
up
you
the
need to be
dynamic.
checked.
Yeah.
But you don't get it from your boys the same way you get it from a woman.
Mhm.
Because everybody have an issue with manipulation, but if you use it right, manipulation can actually be productive,
That's
right?
something I talk about all the time. Yeah.
Manipulation can be productive. So your woman can actually be, very useful in those dynamics. A lot of times men don't understand that there is value in simply having a woman herself. But I think men know that, which is why they attempt to fearmonger women out of being single and alone. I think in the back of their mind, they really do know, like, there is a value card, there is a currency to actually being with a woman
Mhm.
in society. I think they know that. They just don't want to admit it.
What do you mean? Dig deeper there. Like, what do you mean? Like because that's something that actually like one of the big things is I disencourage women being single, and the whole reason why is because I don't want them to get stuck single. I'm scared of the habit of staying single until they hit the wall, and the next thing you know, they can't find the man that they want.
So let me ask you this: if a woman chose to stay single, how would that affect you?
It doesn't affect me at all. It affects the world. So the whole point of my show is none of this is for me. All of this is because I see a loop, a hedonistic loop going on, and for this hedonism to stop, it all starts with one thing: women opening their legs. If women close their legs, men have to work harder to get the pussy. If men have to work hard to get pussy, then these guys that ain't shit all have to become better men. The problem with people letting or women letting sex out so easily or making it so easy for them to get sex is men become shit. They don't have to work for anything.
Okay.
So I have a very hard stance where I teach women keep your legs closed, find a good guy before you hit the wall. Get married, have kids, do all that stuff because we look at statistics and we look at what makes women happy. it shows that the 45 plus women are the saddest demographic, and the reason why is because they're single. Like if they weren't single and they had families, and like if they had a family reunion at 80 years old and they had all these grandchildren, I think they'd be way happier than staying single their whole life.
Okay.
That's the whole point of my show. Like I have 4 sisters. I have nothing but best friends that are women. Like I have a daughter. Like the whole point of me doing the show is because I really care about women, having good, happy lives. And I know that for them to have a good, happy life, it's going to be like what I was raised in, which was 2 happy families.
Mhm.
What I saw my whole life, which was awesome family reunions with my grandparents and all my family and stuff. I know that's what makes women happy. And all this bullshit about being single and that's what's really happiness. That's not true. And it's never been true in all of history. If we look at all of history, men and women are symbiosis. We're always meant to be together. We were never meant to be apart. So anybody who thinks that we're meant to be apart, you're just not in connection with nature.
Okay. I heard you. And I do agree. However, I will say this. Um it's so crazy that the idea of women not keeping their legs closed is like this push thing for American women. Like American women are so hypersexualized.
Oh, I don't think they are.
Hold
If we
on.
look at stats, they're
Give me a
not.
second.
I agree with you though.
Give
That's
me a
all I'm saying
second,
with you.
right? Like, so I'm an American black woman, so I'm just speaking from my point of view of what I've seen and what I've heard and the different research that I've been able to accumulate. But what we do know is that Asian women who tend to date out the most interracially Asian women,
Mm-hmm.
when you go overseas and things like that, those women are easily bought. They're very much so sex deviants.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I've heard
very
about it all
common,
the time. Yeah.
and not just a thing for the passport bros. It's not just like Brazil or no. It's like all over in other places.
Mm-hmm.
The women are very promiscuous. But the idea is that it's very true. American women are more single now than ever in history. We actually just broke the rate for being more alcoholic intake than men.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
The narcissism rate has risen substantially in American women due to social media. At one point in time, and it may still be, but at one point in time, narcissistic characteristics were things you found most commonly in men, and bipolar, schizophrenia were things you found more commonly in women.
Mm-hmm.
And now again, a lot of these things that are negative and adverse have potentially risen. However, I would question, right? Like when you say um that's gonna affect you, I would actually challenge and say that it doesn't at all.
I didn't
Because
say. I actually said that it
no,
doesn't affect me at all.
yeah, you're right, you're right.
I said that.
And the thing is, it's like if I ain't even gonna hold my fucking tongue. If a woman want to be hard headed and she don't think that that's what's gonna make her happy, I want men to stop fighting for their right to attempt to make that happen. Because what you're doing is you're emphasizing too much focus on the hard-headed ones and the ones who are sitting here telling you, I want to be with you. The ones that are being called pick me because they crown me queen pick me of Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So queen pick me here. I own it. I stand in it. You cannot insult me with that term. Absolutely. I am a pick me, the pickiest pick me, queen pick me. You can't make me feel bad about that, right?
Yeah.
So what's happening is men are wanting women who are trying to be more family oriented. They want more traditional women.
Mm-hmm.
They want women who are willing to accept their leadership. They want women who are actually ready to be in their common natural role, being extremely nurturing. Same thing you said as far as like just simply nature doing what nature's supposed to do, bringing men and women together. Again, I agree with a lot of what you said, but I think this is countering and it's actually doing more damage than good, because if they are if they're willing to take that risk, I think we need to let them hoes suffer.
And I agree with you. So like that's why a lot of the girls that come on the show, some of them are horrible. They're exactly what you're talking about. They're the women that everything I say never going to affect them. It's never going to change their life. They're never going to listen to anything I said. But sometimes some of the girls at this panel, they're borderline pick me's. Like they're about to become a full one,
Yeah.
or like they already kind of get it,
Mhm.
They're kind of based. And like those girls, they fully they love all the info that I teach. They love whenever I say that stuff because they're like, yeah, I fully agree. And yeah, like yeah, all I'm doing is those girls, like basically the girls that are good girls, I'm reinforcing them into even better girls. And then
Right.
the girls that ain't shit, I'm kind of making them, you know, probably be even worse with men for the rest of their life because they learn the more truth about
But
men.
I'm so happy that that is happening, right? Because let's tailor this back. If we get those women who are loud, proud, and fuck you, man.
Yeah,
We don't give a fuck about men. We don't care. Nothing I do in life is for a man, and I'm this and I'm that, and they full of themselves,
we
right?
want them to stay single,
We
right?
want them because here's the thing: women are easily influenced by other women.
Uh-huh.
And this goes back to men cannot identify the prostitutes from the women who actually are traditional.
Ooh, this is
All
a
of this
good
comes full
point.
circle.
Yeah.
So if we constantly have men who are in sectors, and shout out to the podcast people in podcasts and in consultations and relationship coaches and experts, and they're trying to turn women and change their mind, you're making it harder for yourself.
Yeah, well, or the guys that they end up with all their trauma. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And now
and I
we
think
back
about that a
into
lot. Yeah,
a shit show. And now we have to do all of this repairable damage because what's going to happen is over time, let's just say we do convert, right? We get these women to get back to the regular status of where shit should be in society. Because I miss it. I miss when women wanted to have it all, when women wanted to be a mom, and when women wanted to have the career and they wanted to have the husband, and they, it's a status in that
hmm
again, right? Like it's very much so a high honor to me. Like you did it. You conquered the fucking goal. Like you got the American dream, but you got it, and you didn't have to like change who you were at your core to do that. Because when I hear those women talk about how fuck me and this, that, and the third, it always goes back to their experiences with men. It
yeah,
never was nothing substantiated that men have done, right? Like as a collective, it was just one or two men that had the experience. They never healed, but they're wanting men to accept them as who they are, and they're tainting themselves. So I want men to stop fighting for their right to revert these bitches, because
yeah,
get them out the way. Everybody's not strong minded like Paradise Paris.
yeah.
Everybody's not gonna get it. Whereas I was probably having a conversation with this one girl who was wavering. She probably just went through a bad breakup and she's in a very vulnerable state. This bitch could be also having a conversation with that same young girl, and you got two forces pulling at her. Like, which way do I go? You need to let her make her choice, because she has a poisonous mind.
Yeah.
She's not going to be a good partner, right? Because of the way she thinks about men in general. And then they'll go and say, well, not my man, but it's inherent. You can't properly raise boys with a prejudice against men.
Mm-hmm.
You can't properly be in a healthy relationship with a prejudice against men. Nobody code switches.
Yeah.
People do not change the way that we like to think in our heads that they are changing. No, you get into a relationship and you get blind to what others can see because you're comfortable, you get complacent. You know this person, habits, because humans are creature of habit.
Mm-hmm.
So while men are fighting for their right to revert all of these terrible ass, mundane, these headstrong ass women, get them bitches the fuck away from us so that we can listen to you guys, get on the same page, and go ahead and move society in the direction that it's supposed to be. And if you want to have 7 or 8 kids, we can do that. Because I'm going to understand, hey, I got to pull my weight. I still got to go to work. Maybe I want to be a single stay-at-home mom. Maybe I don't. I know one thing I don't want to do. I don't want to be another statistic.
Mm-hmm. So on Red Pill Women subreddit, it's a subreddit I go to all the time because they just give really good advice to women on there sometimes. Like it's just a bunch of red pill traditional women giving advice to other women trying to do like the same thing, you know. And so one of the big things that they like to talk about on there is matching baggage. So like a woman who goes on there, say who's learning red pill stuff or like learning how to be more of a traditional woman, but she's already 30, 35, and she's like, hey, am I past my age, ladies? Like, is it gonna be too hard for me to get what I want, like a good traditional man and stuff? And they'll always say you got to find a guy with matching baggage. And like, what do you think about something like that? Do you think that like some of those women, like if they truly do, like basically like if you're a misandrist, are you a misandrist for life? If you're a misogynist as a guy, are you misogynist for life? Like if you hate women or hate men, like do you think they're kind of stuck in their ways, like you were saying, and like there's never like they can never fully convert, or do you think that if they read all the time about this stuff, like they might be able to try to like fully change their life?
Misandry is a byproduct of misogyny, but misogyny always gets pussy.
Misogyny always gets pussy. It really does, honestly. I mean, I can be a misogynist all day and I can still get it.
I call cap. Everything women be saying, I call fucking cap. It's very rare that women practice what they preach. It's very rare.
So I got a
Especially when
question
it comes
for
to
you.
men.
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
question
What's up,
for you.
Donnie?
So, because I do agree, there is a lot that women do say that is cap. Now, earlier you said that there's a lot of things that are communicated from women, but men are not listening. Why should men listen if a lot of things that are said are cap?
Because men are not getting us to actually be in relationships long. And what's happening is you have more men who value family. Absolutely. I'm not even gonna argue nobody with that. Men value family more than women. And the idea is that men cheat more than women. That's absolutely not the fucking truth either. Men actually are more monogamous than women.
Yeah.
Numbers show it. You
Yeah.
can argue with anybody.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is people are getting divorced with other people's money. And what I mean by that is people are fear-mongered out of marriage. And I see it all the time, especially in my comments. It don't matter what platform I'm on. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And this is why I don't want to get married now. And she's going to try to take my money. You're getting married in your mind and divorced with somebody else's money.
Dude, the fear mongering is crazy. Reddit's the same. If you go on Reddit and you talk about an
It's
issue and you're a
crazy.
woman, every person in that thread is telling you to go divorce that man.
Oh,
it could be over the dumbest thing too. Like, he didn't buy me flowers on Valentine's Day. Divorce him.
Yes.
You should not be with that man no more. That's Reddit.
Yes, but
Every one of them.
going back to it, right? Like, men should listen to women because men are the ones who have the biggest stake.
Yeah.
Men, you have the biggest stake. Like, your value can substantially increase with a woman, the right woman, right? And your value can substantially decrease with the woman.
Disappear real quick.
Right. So typically, what, again, based off my observations, what I'm seeing is women, we overextend ourselves in the beginning. We fake it till we make it. We do everything in our power in order to get the man until we burnt out and tapped out. We'll run into the end. And if you make it to the finish line, if you cross that threshold and get the ring, certainly short time after that, she goes, this ain't all I thought it was gonna be. It ain't cracked up to what the fuck I thought it was gonna be. Da 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 da. And over time, she's shown him, hey, I wanted these things, or this didn't matter. That's why I say, like, the money conversation. Money matters. It's just not the standpoint. Like, right? You seen Kim Kardashian, who was getting like violinists and hearts and fucking thousands of bouquet of roses covered in her mansion on Valentine's Day. Like, she's made several comments and stated Kanye was the most romantic man she'd ever been with. Same thing Amber Rose said. Kanye was the most romantic man I've ever had in my life. He really knew how to woo a woman. Same thing Mariah Carey said. We seen Nick Cannon with a tattoo across his back. He's had 6 baby mamas, but he was just in the news yesterday for how much he loves Mariah. It don't look like women losing.
Yeah.
If I can fuck you, I can have your baby. Now I'm your baby mama. And I can run around Dallas out the strength that I'm your baby mama. And I ain't never got to do nothing but go get another man. And you gonna take care of me. And he gonna take care of me. Because I'm a woman. But you are paying out the ass. And you having trouble after trouble. And you get another woman, you got to pay for her. Guess what? I'm bossed up off of 2 men currency. And 2 men status. Because who's to say he not a Cowboys player or a Mavericks player or a Texas Ranger? You don't know that. But I'm having my way. You the one trying to get me to act right. But you should have listened to me before I walked out this door. Because women leave more than men. Almost at an 80% rate. This is why you should listen to women. You're the ones wanting women to get down and act a certain type of way and cooperate and understand your leadership position and understand how much value and time and leverage that you have put into sustaining yourself and getting your shit together, because you've had to develop that over time. Women get the opportunity to quit over and over and over again. If I'm 21 and I drop out of college, okay, I can go back and I could be black girl magic and get that goddamn degree or do a degree at 35. Who gives a fuck? Whether or not I had children or not. Because there's always going to be that simp
Yeah.
Before he go get his passport and he go overseas, if I give him the opportunity, he gonna take it.
Yeah.
He gonna be a stepdaddy, even if he talking shit online about stepdaddies.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
So true. Yeah, that's
so yeah, this is why you should listen to women. It's not necessarily a bad thing, and I'm gonna be honest. I feel like sometimes women be talking bullshit.
So that's after the guy gives away leverage though with the ring. What do you think about guys what do you think about them being some women that don't even care about the ring? Like they have such burning genuine desire for the guy, they're not even stressing him for the fucking
That's
ring.
fine.
And
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with
would you be one of those, or do you want the ring? Are you
Oh
the type
no,
where like
you ain't gonna play with me like that.
Yeah, I need this damn ring. Yeah.
Well, it's not. I need the ring. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't look at marriage like the fairy tale thing, the love. No, it's a business. I have to be able to understand my business partner. Mm-hmm. Marriage is a business. Marriage is also very much so something that can definitely be beneficial on both ends. And I don't think that this generation takes it serious. The quickest way for a woman to develop wealth is in marriage. When you are saying that you're developing a family unit, right? What makes sense for that family unit, again, two heads together is always better than one. And people love to get this fucking red herring topic of, well, I would rather be single and in a relation than in a miserable relationship where I wouldn't want it to expose my kids to a toxic environment. Da da da. Like, no, it is far more worse to be in a situation where you're struggling financially, or you're tired, you never get a break, you don't have the additional time to pay attention to your children when they are going through their, peer pressure changes or developmental stages in school, trying to do that as one person as opposed to two, they're in the house. And I know people talk about co-parenting, but co-parenting, if it was so effective, we'd see more of it. We don't. So I think today people are so fear-mongered out of marriage because they want to do it traditionally. Even when it comes to relationships, everything you hear the benefit of everything being done traditionally, but why can't we do this the way that we want to do it? Why we got to be in the same house? I don't have to live with you to be married to you, but society would tell us I do. I mean, technically, you trying to get me to go rent this house out and go get an Airbnb because I done bought a house and you done bought a house, and we gonna move in together for fucking what? We could be married, and if we don't have no children, I can stay in my house, you stay at yours. When we file our taxes, file it together, we get equity off of both anyhow. But you will see couples keep a relationship longer. Or let's just simply say we do move together. And let's just say we having one of our bad moments. Instead of us laying in the bed or trying to figure out a conversation the night before, I can pack up and go home and clear my head and dissect what's just happened, right? But again, you're talking about money and you're talking about all these other tangible assets and things like that, and everybody's afraid to lose. You wouldn't be afraid to lose if you had your shit.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm the opposite of you. I actually think that one of the biggest problems with relationships today is that people aren't living together. And like when you live with somebody, like think about it, for 300,000 years as Homo sapiens, when you love somebody or when you were like with somebody, fully, you were around them all the time. Like a caveman, he's gonna kill off your other guy and then fucking fuck you, and you're gonna sleep in the same cave as him every night. Like there was no like we're gonna separate. It's a very new thing that people try to do all the time. Like we need to go back to nature because we're trying to solve a lot of these issues with modern techniques. Whenever we need to go back and see what's not natural to us,
Hey, I 100% agree. I didn't see my parents walk out when times were hard or quit. And I ain't talking about when you got children in the house.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about two grown people who say, hey, kids ain't in the car for us, but marriage is. I love you, etc., etc. The shit you talking about. But you know what end up happening is people suffocate each other. Today, everything's in hyper. Now we got the phones. You ain't got no fucking privacy.
I hyper disagree with you. I've been a business owner for a decade, and I've always been at home. I've always worked in my office. I've always had girlfriends that live with me, and we didn't suffocate each other. I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. I don't go and sit with her and spend any time with her.
You're not the average person.
I know, but this is the problem, though, is that people think that sitting on the couch and watching TV together all day, like all these things are good, normal things. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying those people that are doing that and suffocating, they're spending too much time together like that. That's because they're lazy people. They're not doing their life correctly, period.
I disagree. And I'm going to tell you why I disagree. We saw that in the pandemic. Like we saw people going to remote work in the pandemic and having to actually spend time with their partner, be face to face with them, and having to see that person that they thought they just was so infatuated with and loved so much be under them completely for a different lifestyle due to that. We saw children with failing grades and educational levels drop. We saw people have more increased substance abuse and Adderall and all this other shit. We saw it in hyper and mass because
there
society,
was more physical violence.
Exactly. Society changed. Where you're trying to revert back, I'm saying adapt. So I think we're on the same page when we're talking about, hey, we do need people who are willing to say, I made this oath, I'm not going to quit on you. But we have to be able to find solutions that provide everybody an outlet, going back to the therapy, to not quit. Because everybody says, I want to quit. Why the fuck do you want to quit? The idea of marriage is, I signed up for this, I ain't quitting. And I'm hearing conversations now where people are talking about, well, it's a contract, so we should be able to revise it after 2 years or 5 years. No, that ain't never how it worked. It ain't never gonna work, because you don't get to revise. You don't want to be a parent no more. You don't get to do that. You don't get to quit on them kids. You don't get to quit on your parents. The only thing you quit in life is your friends and jobs. That's it. But a family you created, you can't quit that. Because when you decided you were going to have a consensual relationship with this person, and it became far more serious, and y'all took the next step, because now we got tons of time to date and bed. That's on you. So when you making this consecutive decision with this other individual, you have to be able to figure out what's the next step, how to make this work. I don't think two people having a house right beside each other and saying, hey, this is one of those times where we're going through a bad phase, maybe distance will make the heart grow fonder before they start saying, let's go get separation papers. You get what I'm saying? Or trying to, something so simple that I hear women say a lot is, I do more in the house than he does. So now you have to take yourself out of what he's responsible for versus what you're responsible for. But you still got to see me. You still got to be dedicated to me. You still got to be committed to me. Now, on the adverse, when you're saying you don't watch TV, you're not influenced by all these things, you're not the average person. Every time motherfuckers wake up in the morning, they're going to pick up their phone. They're going to pick up their phone before they say good morning. Very rude. No courtesy. You know, they don't check in on their partner, but they're expecting their partner who's at a busy work day to talk to them all day. This is not something that our parents experienced. That's not the wave. They were with each other all day because they spent so much time away from each other. They didn't mind living in a house together. They were able to decompress. They weren't influenced by anything else. And their community, if it was doing anything else, it was helping to save families. You know, when people used to have issues in their household, and shout out to Betty Wright, because I'm very old school. I come from a very traditional background. She was for real when she said, when you was having issues with your man, you used to have women come by and they would feed each other, and they would sit and talk, and they would counsel with each other, and they would help give ideas on how to get better, not push them away. And you would have men who would say the same thing. Hey, you fucked that girl over. You need to go make that right. Right?
People trying to pull y'all back together instead
of
separating y'all.
Exactly. But you don't get that today because you have social media. You got everybody in everybody's business. Women go to work, and we talk to our friends at work, whoever they are. Our co-workers know you get a better bond with your co-workers than you do your actual real friends. Sharon at the job know all your damn business. But your friend who you finna go kick it with this weekend, who you done known 10 years, she don't know damn near half of what's going on, but she just texted you and told you she seen your man with another woman walking in Walmart. You get what I'm saying? So now we got all these byproducts of negative influences based off of the accessibility we have to people, when sometimes people just need a fucking break. But that don't mean I quit on you. I didn't quit on you. I just stepped back, and I allowed you to see things from my point of view, and I allowed me to see things from your point of view, because we're stuck in an echo chamber. And we're so set up with saying, you my partner. I can't go a day without talking to you. I can see my parents walk in the house and go, I'm home. All right, dinner cooked. And she went to one room, he went to another. That was it. They was going to bed together. But now it's, if you go 24 hours without talking to me, you might as well go the rest of your life. What the fuck? I don't have anything to say all the time. Like, it's okay, but we overstep each other's boundaries. We suffocate each other. We're trying to make this bond more than what it is. But if you spending 2 to 5 years with a person, eventually it's okay. Why are we so fear-mongered out of saying we have to be so attached? This is codependency. It's not healthy, which is why you're seeing women like Tia Mowry, when you get out of a relationship that's been longevity, they don't know how to find themselves. They don't have no identity without their man. And if somebody did move on, the possibility is they were probably already fucking around in the relationship as well. But again, we don't have identities no more. You don't have women doing women shit with women anymore. Mm-hmm. If it's not talking boss girl shit, being an entrepreneur, or going to kick it and spending money, you don't have women sitting around not taking their hobbies trying to monetize it. Mm-hmm. You still have men doing those things, but not women. And so now they're thinking their idea of a relationship is solely influenced by, we can't really be together unless he want to see me successful. We got to be a power couple. We got to do no, bitch, we regular. Like, we're regular people. And sometimes that looks like I'm an introvert. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I want to go in one room, play the game, you know where I'm at, you know what I'm doing, make me a sandwich, go in the bedroom and read a book. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It don't require all that. Yeah. We're creating unhealthy habits. And the moment that it changes, people lose their independence. They lose the sight of what they should be doing. They lose focus. They lose a lack of respect and empathy for their partner, because they are only seeing things from their scope. Mm-hmm. They're not looking at the full picture. So I think what you do is extremely healthy. But imagine how many women you encounter who sit up and binge watch the latest show on Netflix that's in the top 10. Mm-hmm. Imagine how many women you encounter who make money off their phone all day, because I'm one of them. Mm-hmm. My phone in my hand all day long. But when my man come around, I put it down. Mm-hmm. And he gets my full undivided attention, because we've been away from each other so long. I work 10 hours, he worked 12.
Yeah. It's just different types of commitment to me. So I came from two parents who both perfectly were together, you know, or they divorced and remarried, and when they remarried, it was perfect households where they were around each other all the time. There was no fighting because they were around each other. There was no toxicity because they were around each other all the time.
No, I disagree. Your parents kept you out of grown folks' business.
Well, yeah, of course, it would like they should. But the thing is,
and they human.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing: like, one of those sets of parents are extremely successful, and like you were saying, having two separate houses, and like y'all can go back to your own thing, and there's tax benefits. The real benefit is having one house and then going and buying multiple properties like my father did, and then using y'all's credit, using y'all's income to be able to leverage to get as much property as you can. That's VRBOs or whatever it is. But, you know, that's the best thing. Having two separate properties and just getting a tax benefit, that's not that good. The real point of us coming together is to be a team. Like, one of my biggest analogies I give all the time is that two horses pull, you know, 4 times the force whenever they're pulling together. It's not double, it's quadruple. And so that's why people need to come together. And if we keep having this mentalities of that we're scared of this commitment, this is really, really strong commitment, you know, like, it just scares me, because that's what makes us amazing. That's what takes us up to the next level. That's what's going to make you and here's I talk about 401ks, IRAs, HSAs all day long on this, because we all need $6 million. Our generation's gonna need $6 million in 30 years when we retire. Our parents only need $2 million or less right now, about 1.5 to 2 million to retire. So for us to get to that,
and we may not even be able to benefit off the government.
Yeah, and we might not even but for us to do that, everybody has to max out their 401k at $20,000 a year right now. And how many people are maxing out their 401ks at $20,000 a year right now? Very few people are. Mm-hmm. So that's why one of my biggest points I talk about is all these things. Like, the powers that be want people single. They want people living in two separate houses. Okay. They want people single because they make way more money whenever everybody's stuck single or everybody's living in separate places.
Let's revisit this, because you're hung up on what I'm saying as opposed to listening to the solution. I'm not saying don't be with your partner. I'm not saying to always cohabitate in two households as a married couple. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is, what you are hearing is these, and from a woman's point of view, or from a man's point of view, men don't get no fucking man cave today. Have you which I'm sure you've seen the market, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. You're not getting no man cave.
Yeah.
You're not getting a decompressor from loud noise, children, or just simply daily fucking life, right? So whereas we're always looking to divide these dividends up and things like that, I'm sure you can make money off of it. You can keep your place, he can keep his place, and you can make that an Airbnb and rent it out when you get ready, and you're still bringing in additional income. But what happens when Shawty say she is tired, she's stressed out? You're hearing her, but you're not listening, right? And she just needs a break. She's looking for a vacation. Women tend to take off more than men on average. We utilize way more PTO if men use their shit at all. So what happens is people are getting burnt out from the idea of just daily life, period. And we seen our parents never quit, but we also experienced a lot of things in our generation that were not conducive to a healthy environment. So now people are saying, I'm not happy, I want this to end. I've seen it from men, I've seen it from women. Happiness is simply a tangible emotion. It goes in and out of cycles, and they don't necessarily need to quit their family or quit their partner. They just need a fucking reset. And what that reset, right, what that reset potentially may look like is them trying to get a family vacation. Or, hey, we got a sick household. You not sick, but you got to be the breadwinner. You got to go to work. How about that potential of the household makes you have time to just do that without ever disrupting the family function? So I understand what you're saying. I'm not against that. I come from a 2-parent household. I ain't ever seen them spend a night away from each other a day in my life, ever. They was always there. Even right now, if I call my dad and my mom is with her sisters too long, I'm finna go get your mama. She's supposed to be under me. You know, this is what I've seen over time. They went from, hey, I'm home, food in the kitchen, to we always together. We're always spending time. They back to their friendship. They're back to them loving on each other and appreciating their partner through whatever, because they no longer are just simply in their role of parenting anymore. All the kids are grown. We out the house. You're going to be able to have to do that one day with your partner, especially if you're talking about doing a 20-year plus marriage. You're going to have to be able to do that. So what I'm saying is, when times are getting hard and you sit there and you got 3 or 4 kids and you're blending multiple family units, and there are a lot of different nuances that are going into relationships. Life today looks a lot different than them. They didn't have cell phones. They weren't exposed to social media. Hell, they barely had cable. So what you're practicing in your actual real life is a reflector of how they were able to be successful. But they also did have the clubs. They would go out. Their lifestyle was a lot more cheaper. They didn't deal with inflation at the rate that we deal with. Exactly. As of right now, us living in Texas, if you are a single parent and you want to have a 2-bedroom apartment, and you make $15 an hour, it's a common thing. We like to pretend that it's not. It is actually a very common thing. You would have to work 124 hours a week just to make that lifestyle affordable for you and your child. So when you're talking about trying to merge people together and bringing households back, I'm a huge advocate about Black love. I love marriage. I love the idea of the nuclear family structure. Secondary, the blended family structure. I have no problem with it. I want people to find better solutions to resolve these problems when therapy is not a resource. When your friends are probably not the best go-to. When you're sitting there and you're talking about building all these tangible assets, that home that you're holding on to all those times, and you are getting the resource, the write-off, that could be a home that you want your children to inherit, instead of us trying to suffocate each other and make ourselves solely committed to what's happening right here in the now. Because again, we saw it in the pandemic. When people spent that much time together and they were influenced by outside factors, it was a lot of shit going on. And the rate of divorce skyrocketed. And the rate of dating, it was like crazy. The apps went crazy. The cheating went crazy. They had a group that was on Facebook for Dallas.
Oh yeah, the cheating group.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it didn't just stop in Dallas.
Yeah.
We influenced a lot of other people to do it. So this is what I'm saying. There are a lot of problems that we face today that they didn't face. We have to be able to find avid solutions. One of those solutions, to me, looks like, how about having dual houses?
Yeah. because there's just so many different problems that we're dealing with. Yeah, no, and I agree with you. It is very nuanced. It's way see that's the hardest problem about what I do is I'm always trying to go back to how it was before, and yeah, it's not possible. Especially with how people are today. Not everybody can go back in
Life
time.
look different. I will say only one thing remain the same. Men never changed their role in society. Women did. Men are expected to be providers, leaders, protectors. They're expected to be on a strong arm. They're expected to not fold. Society tells us men don't get sick until old age. Society tells us men don't experience pain until old age. Society tells us that men are set in their ways. Men are going to be men. That's what society says. But women can be a
Whatever they want.
housewife. I can be, a whore. I can be the president. I can be whoever I want to be. And men have to support me because if he doesn't support me, that looks negative on him, right? The patriarchy affords me the right, and you built it.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So when you're talking about the changes that we are making in society, and if we're going to get back to this family unit, which I wholeheartedly want us to, I want to do it right. I want to see my dad walk me down the aisle. I already know how I want it. I want my dad in Navy. I want to be in a white suit. I want my brothers to walk in front of me and behind me while my dad is on the side of me and give me away. I want that dream, right? And I want to be able to have my children born into wedlock because my mom didn't have me until she was 31 and she had my brothers at 33. So I don't give up hope when men say, oh, she's over 30. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
They had time together and they've gotten their time back together.
Mm-hmm.
But during that time together, they did keep us out of grown folks' business. I ain't ever seen my parents argue in my life. I ain't ever seen it. I ain't ever seen nobody raise their hand ever. I only seen my dad mad at my mom one time, and that was when I was 20 years old. I haven't seen it. It does not happen. He's not mean to her. When he wanted to celebrate her, he did grandiose things. One anniversary, he bought her a pearl colored metallic Cadillac. One anniversary, he bought her a whole new kitchen set, a stainless steel refrigerator that came with the ice maker and the stove and the microwave that went with it. On her birthday, he got her a photo shoot where she went and dressed and got all dolled up, and he brought her roses like her name because she loved flowers, and she brought that set into the house, and that was her thing. It wasn't a time where he didn't go above and beyond to show her how much he appreciated her. However, they were doing that at different phases of life. My mom had things that she was doing outside of my dad. You don't have women doing that anymore. Women don't have book club meetings.
Yeah.
Women don't have poetry classes or pottery, or we don't get in a community like we used to anymore. The children are lacking us as far as community support.
Yeah.
We don't have those events. You used to have bake-offs and bakeries, and we don't do that. We don't have pageantry like we used to, where women were heading events. We were busy. We were being in the forefront of a lot of things that were happening. Mm-hmm. Now it's my man, my man, my man, my man, my man, and y'all sick of us. So what is the big deal about taking a break and without saying I quit? I don't get it. We need time apart. Yeah. And sometimes that looks like a 4-day vacation. Nothing's wrong with that. Because there are things past that.
When you say vacation, do you mean girls trips? It's just a good topic sometimes. You go on girls trips?
Absolutely. I love my sisterhood.
Always. No,
but I have a good reflection of women around me. Right? Yeah. Like,
I'm guessing you don't hang out with fucking the type of girls that are like really bad and shit.
Nah, because I don't play that shit.
Yeah,
right?
I know. I don't see you as the type of girl that would be around some really shitty people.
No, but my mentality is different, right? So I tell my friends, I've been saying this, my friends in college know this. I've had the same set of friends. My best friends who are out here, we've been friends since the 5th and 6th grade. It ain't changed. The love ain't changed. Even on different paths of life, the love ain't changed.
Y'all know who I am.
I tell them all the time to know, to understand, to know me is to understand me, not to love me. You're not gonna love what I say, but I have to respect that those women are gonna do things that make sense for their life, right? You're not going to always like what I say. We have our own differences, we have our own opinions, and we're able to be each other freely with judgment. Because you alive, you say you don't judge your fucking friends, you better.
Yeah.
I'm judging you.
You should still be able to be friends with somebody even
I'm
after
going
the
to tell
judgment.
you about yourself.
Yeah.
But you're going to tell me about myself too.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get to these super chats.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm so behind
Oh,
on
we
these.
got super chats.
Yeah,
I'm excited about that.
I'm so sorry, guys. $2 from Ombre the House. Like the video, and we will invite you to the party. Yes, we will invite y'all to the special secret party that we don't tell anybody. Ombre the House with a 5. Is it better for a man to need to provide or for him to want to provide? What can a man expect for providing all necessities to live? Better for a man to need to provide or for him to
He needs to want to provide. You don't force a man to do anything he doesn't want to do.
I agree.
Because if you're forcing him, it won't go good for you. You want a man to be very much so open about how he feels. And this is even for children. A man cannot bond appropriately with a child from a mother he didn't love.
Yeah.
Anything he does for you, it needs to be a will. His motivation needs to come from the fact that he want to be there.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
What was the second question?
Oh, he clicked it down.
That's
so
fine.
we can't see it.
Do most women put in genuine effort to attract a worthy man, or do they just sit back and expect that man to find her and put in his effort? It's gonna be the latter, because a lot of times women are trying to do a little bit of nothing in order to get a man, even down to gift giving and things like that. Everything is idealized about what we think you should have and how we think you should be treating us, and not necessarily seeing a man for who he is.
Oh, so easy. What's the next one? $5 from Ombre again. Thank you so much, bro, for supporting tonight. Place then in order of importance: money, communication, sex. First for the man, then for the woman. Place in order of importance: money, communication, sex for the man. Which one? What's the most important for the man?
I don't. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna say communication, because I think men love when they respect it.
You're actually on point when you put respect to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
you're
communication, because you can be a baller ass man and you can have a bitch who gonna fucking suck you real good, but if she talk
don't
to you
respect
crazy,
you.
it ain't gonna really go too well. Like, it ain't gonna be that. And for women, and I'm sure this is gonna shock the fucking crowd, it's gonna be sex.
Yeah.
Women are hypersexual today.
They really are. I think that society has just really made it to where it's so freeing that you can't fight that. What was the next one? $2 from Traditional Modern Talks. Thank you, man. How many good relationships have you had?
All of them.
All of them. How many? It says how many.
All of them.
All of them, bro. That's all you're gonna get. $2 again from Traditional Modern Talks. Why should men pick you over the others? Tell me.
She's in a relationship.
She's already in a relationship, bro. Yeah. So, $3 from Mod Media Group. Oh, thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Let's go.
Shout out to the super chats. They're always fun.
Yeah. No, is that an Aussie one too? $2 from Ombre again. Like the video so we can get wild tonight. Yeah, we're gonna go party, bro. Thank you. But no, I really appreciate you for coming.
It's been dope.
No, I think it's really awesome, like I said, to just find other people in the YouTube or the influencer sphere in this area. I always am happy when I find a new one, because you're going to have to come back whenever I have a panel of girls.
You want me to come back?
Hell yeah.
You want me to come back?
Hell yeah. No, because you don't understand. These girls need help, and I need somebody who actually does coaching all the time with women to like come and help me, because I'm a guy at the end of the day.
Right.
Okay, so like I'm good at coaching men. I will actually say I think I'm very good at fucking coaching men. Like, I think I'm one of the best online compared to all the other people that grift and lie and shit. I think I'm one of the best, in my opinion. Okay. But as far as teaching women goes, I have so much to fucking learn.
Okay.
So much to learn.
Let's start here. Donnie put the camera on me. I am not a relationship coach, a therapist, or a relationship advisor. I simply give my opinion. And if you are open to hearing it, I have no problem providing you the answer that I think would be suitable for your situation. Only if you are going to be honest with yourself.
No, that's awesome, because like that's another thing. I just want to be honest with these women. I just want them to know the truth, and they can do what they want with it. If it's going to make their lives better, awesome. I always bring back to the praxeology thing that Rolo Tomasi likes to talk about red pill. You know, it's praxeology. We're not going to sit here and tell you how to, live your life, but here's the facts. Do with it what you so choose. If you want to make your life better, then great. If you don't,
And I will say I got real black millionaire friends. And some of the shit y'all be saying on behalf of them men, they don't be fucking with it. Not you, but I'ma just say y'all be speaking for millionaires and y'all ain't got millionaire friends. I got real black millionaire friends, black established men who do and don't have children, who have and are not married, who yeah, for sure. And yeah, we gonna have to stop talking with other people money about what the regular people doing.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch all the chats. I didn't
sure.
read anything this whole show. What's that last super chat before we head out? What was it saying? $5 from JR. Thank you, bro. If you were stuck in the woods and had only one sock, which song are you listening to on your Sony Walkman? And it's 324. What?
And only had one song, I guess he meant to say.
I know.
Which
but
song are you listening to on your Sony Walkman? And it's 324.
But what is the time?
And I'm gonna be honest.
Is this a joke that I'm not understanding?
That song for me is going to be Nicki Minaj, "Moment for Life."
Okay. Well, there you go, JR. You got the. I hope that was the answer you're looking for because I'm so confused.
It's sock.
It's
only
sock.
One sock.
If I only had, dude, that still doesn't make any sense.
It don't.
It still doesn't make any
the
sense.
song would be for me, Nicki Minaj, "Moment for Life."
Well, thank y'all guys. Thank you so much. Like, go ahead and plug your stuff really quick.
Yes. This has been a really incredible podcast. One of the most dopest ones I've been on. Aside from tonight's conversation, I can honestly say this has been very good. And Trevor, I done filming with him and he was amazing. I really enjoyed the conversation. You guys can find me on Twitter at _Paradise Pairs. That is _Paradise Pairs 1. That is my most active platform. And
one is the most active, guys. One.
Yeah, for sure. Twitter is the most active one, and that's fine. That is my secondary page, but I'm primarily on my first one, which ends in 1. And then Facebook is Paradise Paris. Instagram is Paradise Paris, which is my second most active app. TikTok is _Paradise Paris, and that's also my YouTube handle. Just landed in Paris, and we are gonna be going on to Big O really soon because we gonna start having some real elongated conversations, and I'm gonna be willing to get people more interactive with me.
Hell yeah. I just can't wait for you to come back because I know that you're going to really just spark some of these girls on the panel. If it's a good panel of women, you're going to really probably piss some girls off. I think it'd be really
That's
funny.
Fine. Keep your hands to yourself because I can't fight.
It's okay. Yeah. But we'll have security, so there's no problem. But yeah, thank you so much for coming again. I really appreciate you.
No, I thank you for having me. No, I really appreciate it. It happened like right at the perfect time. I'm just like, yeah, let's do this shit.
Let's do it, man. All right, guys. Well, we will be back with y'all on Friday. I got a full panel of ladies for y'all. So we will see y'all again on Friday, guys. Peace out.